Join us Friday, March 28th for our 150th episode live at 8 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. We have lots of things planned, including the return of Nightwing Year One co-author Scott Beatty. Mark your calendars and we'll see you then.
Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are the Batman. I'm Mike.
And this is Matthew.
Oh my god, my voice is back.
I know.
Holy crap.
You sound like yourself.
Jesus. No more Batman impressions.
Deep baritone.
I know. God, it's weird. I was everyone's favorite person in school because when they realized I could pretend to be their dad on the phone when they didn't want to go to school that day. Just, sorry, Timmy can't come to school right now.
Yeah.
He's got measles. Again? I know, right?
Yeah.
We are here today to talk about issue number 1 of Absolute Flash, which dropped today when we're recording this, a couple days ago by the time you're seeing this.
Which cover did you get?
I got this dope one from who was it again? Rafael Albuquerque and Alejandro Sanchez. This one, I got a great one. Yours is nice too. Did you get the
the dude from the inside? Nick Robles?
Oh, you got the standard. You got Robles cover. They were down to this one and one other one, and it was like they were both great. The other one I almost pulled the variant was it was like stylized, like it looked like a classic like 70s comic book.
Nice,
really cool looking. But we're gonna talk about Absolute Flash number 1. Before we get into all that, as always, guys, if you're not, please follow us on all the social medias at WATB Pod. It's super easy, but also super easy. Subscribe to the channel. Just do that.
Subscribe to the channel. Comment on our stuff. We like talking.
Yeah, we like talking. And it's also, I mean, I know you guys at the point just saw, but 150th episode live, March 28th, 8 p.m. Don't forget. But yeah, we are here today. Not a whole lot. Normally we if there's anything DC news going on to get caught up on. None of that. So we're just gonna go right.
Let's touch the Jason Momoa thing.
You want to touch the Jason Momoa thing? All right, let's touch the Jason Momoa thing. All right, we can
get some movie stuff in there.
Do a little bit of DC news. Basically, it was just confirmed by Jason Momoa that he said that the look is probably, what was the actual quote that he said? Basically, just the look is spot on. The look is spot on, and it's not a big part in the movie. The actual quote we have with Screen Rant was what he said was that his Lobo appearance is pretty dead on from the comics and confirms he will appear briefly in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Quote, we look pretty dead on, exactly like the character. It's her movie, so it's great. I just come in for a little bit. And Matt, you've read the book. I haven't read it yet. And as you've said, spoilers, kids, Lobo's not even in the book.
That I did. I read the first, I'll be honest, I read the first 3 issues, maybe 4.
Okay.
And I was so bored, I just skimmed the rest of the thing to see what happened.
Okay. I haven't read it yet. We've heard good things about this book. So I'll give it a shot. Maybe you need to go finish reading it to see if there's something in there that you missed. I don't know.
I think it's also like Supergirl, okay. The concept that James Gunn talks about is only the first issue. It's what gets her into trouble so that she has to do what she does for the rest of the series.
Okay.
It's not like she's drunk the entire 12 issues of the series.
I need to read this. I may have to. I really don't want to order it on Amazon, but I may have to just
I got it at the library.
I know. I've checked the library. Maybe I can ask the store to order one for me. I really don't want to be that guy, but I don't know. I'm going to an open mic at a comic book cafe tomorrow night.
Oh, nice.
Of all things, I know. But so maybe they've got it. We'll find out. But either way, so yeah, and I would imagine it's probably just going to be something akin to a, X-Force and Deadpool 2, Chris Evans and Deadpool and Wolverine kind of thing. It's like he'll be there.
Probably.
It'll be cool. We'll move on. But now he's out there. We can bring him in for Superman 2. And I'm also hoping we get more of him in My Adventures. So not my microphone around. My Adventures with Superman, because that version of him was great. And I'm hoping we get a trailer for that sometime soon too.
I hope so, because I was stupid, and when I dealt with some of the stuff I was dealing with that I don't want to discuss on air, I had about 2 days of being stuck at home, and I did watch the part 3 of the boringest crap ever.
Of Crisis?
Yes. I
No.
skimmed it. I skimmed it.
Okay.
And even skimming it, I was like, I don't understand how I turned
Does
this
My
hour and a
Adventures of
half hour
Superman
movie.
show up in it?
Lobo does.
Oh.
But it was just like, how am I fast forwarding through this? And it's still boring. Like I don't
I actually, while I was laid up with the flu, when I wasn't talking, there was a point where I was this close to like, maybe I should just watch it and get it over with. I don't
that
know.
was so bad.
It was, yeah. I think that's really it as far as like any like real news is considered. We're still waiting to hear more on Matt Reeves, the Batman. Beyond that, Matt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I just getting things done and kind of a film project that I thought was going to happen is probably not going to happen. With that in mind, I have nothing to make myself get in shape, so I've decided to go ahead and get my next promotion in martial arts. So I'm working on
Cheers.
that just to have something, physical to do. I cried earlier that there's no blizzards anymore, so I got a frappuccino, pale in comparison, but at least it's something.
Yeah, your coffee drink was just a milkshake. Yeah.
Yeah, I call it an adult Slurpee.
Yeah, God, I miss it. I miss them so much. I went to this bakery by my office the other day for breakfast, and I said, "Do you guys have anything decaf?" I'm like, we have decaf espresso. I said, okay, kind of a misnomer, but all right. But can I get a decaf espresso like latte? I hadn't had a latte in over a year. Oh, it was decaf, but just like it was great. God, I miss caffeine. Man.
Sorry.
Anyway, no, it's fine. Anyway,
But no, what do you what about you besides the caffeine killing thing? I mean, what are you
I've
watching?
not a whole lot. I mean, work's been busy. Mostly just no, I've just been reading. I've been reading comics, honestly. Since the voice is back, I've been back doing stand up. So and then just everyone I listen to has been putting out more new music. So it's been one of those. It was like it's like I've almost been like happy to not have a ton to watch other than Daredevil Born Again, which is slappity slapping. Are you caught up?
I haven't watched the most recent episode.
Okay, so you're an episode because it
I'm on
just dropped
episode
last
3.
night. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
I'm hoping
Oof.
that this one's interesting.
Mm.
But I know that Punisher's back, so that's got me excited.
Yeah, you find that out in the credits.
Yeah. Well, because his series was, I think, my favorite of all of them, and his performance, like I think the MCU is right. He and Charlie Cox are really the two you need to pull. Maybe Kristen Ritter is Jessica Jones if you don't let any of the same creative team touch her.
Yeah, and we can talk about Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. We can talk about Mike Coulter. It just again, it depends on but the less said about Danny Rand, the better.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching it for some reason. As we all know, the whole reason I have to do this from my office is my internet at home is crap, and sometimes it just won't even load Disney Plus. So I tried 4 different times last night to watch it, and it just wasn't loading. And I think we ended up watching. What did we? Oh, we went back to Resident Alien because
it was just on.
Yeah, we're in the 3rd season. We just watched everything else, but we'll see.
Well, if you guys want to help Matt get better internet, you can subscribe to the channel, and then we can start getting ad revenue from YouTube, and we can put that money towards getting Matt some better internet. In the meantime, let's talk about Absolute Flash.
Yes.
Issue 1 dropped today. And I mean this like seriously, no pun intended. What a quick read, and yet so much information was given.
Yeah.
In not a ton of dialogue, not I don't know, man. For a very exposition heavy first issue, I wasn't bored. I don't know. What do you think?
I thought it was really good, dude. Like my thing with this is, there's so many different Flashes out there that each one of them has their own unique kind of origin of how they got their powers. So for them to kind of come up with a new way for that to happen, I thought was interesting. But I enjoyed it. Like I think, I had a brief moment of like, wait, you guys said Barry Allen wasn't in this, and then
I
quickly,
did too.
yeah, he ain't gonna be in it. He's fine,
Yeah.
But no, I think it's interesting enough and different enough that I'm like, okay, this is cool. Because like I said, we've talked a little bit before about like Wonder Woman is and is not that much different. Batman is and is not that much different. You changed their background, but you didn't change them.
Yeah.
Superman is very, very different.
It's yeah, they went way and out of left field
Yeah.
for Superman.
And I'm not saying I don't like the other two titles. I'm
Mm.
just saying the more kind of different thing you did with Superman, I'm the most excited about that one. So reading this and going like, oh, we're doing something completely different with this guy. And
Yeah.
then like, look, I did not know how far ahead are we skipping on this.
Bro, we're go nuts at this
Okay.
point. Go
I
nuts.
I did not have on my bingo card that I want to cosplay Captain Cold at all, but but he showed up and I was like, who is this bad animal? And then like when he put the glasses on, I was like, I guess I'm gonna be cosplaying Captain Cold.
It's the wildest thing. All this time leading up to this comic book coming out, at no point, because all I've been concerned with is, well, we're starting with Wally and it's not the Speed Force. What is this going to be? At no point did I ever even consider,
The
oh yeah,
rebooted villains.
the rogues, Flashes, because like everyone talks Batman and Spider-Man. Like we all know Batman,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, like are S tier. But Flash's rogues gallery is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Like it's a pretty not for nothing. His rogues gallery might be what kept his TV show on the air so long, because they kept just knocking it out of the park with those rogues. So like when these characters first popped up, I'm like, oh, it's just a drone following him. I didn't even register with me that it was a giant boomerang.
I know.
And then when I see it, I was like, he's putting I was like, wait, is that supposed to be Captain Cold? Oh, so I guess that makes her a golden glider. And that makes that guy, oh my God, that was a giant boomerang following him around. Son of a
Yeah.
The only thing I couldn't quite, and help me, who's the fourth person?
I think it's Jesse Quick. That's who I think it is, but I don't know.
The giant head? I don't know about that.
Oh, because he kept calling her Jessie or Jess. So I was thinking it was like Jesse Quick, but
no,
I'm not sure.
Because the I don't know. Somebody let me know. Maybe I'm going to cheat and look on the Wikipedia. I don't think it's on there, but I don't see it.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I have no idea who that fourth row. I mean, and then there's also a fifth one that we get teased at the end of the book. Mirror Master, dope, love it. But yeah, I was like, I thought maybe it was supposed to be a take on Heat Wave, but I didn't see anything. You're Googling it, I can tell. So
yes.
yeah, so you're gonna have to help me out there, because I honestly do not know who that was supposed to be. Maybe Trickster? Yeah. I don't know.
Toyman is a Superman villain, right?
Toyman's a DC villain. Toyman's kind of been everywhere.
Yeah.
Same with Dollmaker. But I will say, I do think Toyman is usually a Superman villain. Yeah. But while you're doing that, I mean, like I will say, like
Weather Wizard? I have no idea. There's nothing that's here that
I really don't. I really have no idea. So let us know down in the comments, please. Because the other three looked very similar enough. There were enough context clues you could gather who they were. Not a clue who that fourth one was supposed to be.
Where is that? Let me see.
Yeah, look at your book. But Wally West is not the Flash I'm the most familiar with, and that's mostly just because of when I was getting into comics thing. When I was getting into comics, the Flash was in a transition period. I think I've talked about this on the show before. It's probably been a while. When I was getting into comics, the Flash was going through their Terminal Velocity story arc, where Wally was being absorbed into the Speed Force and they were selecting a new Flash to take over for him, and it was Jesse Quick for a while, actually. So like so up until Wally shows up on the Justice League cartoon, I don't really, and then I stopped reading Flash comics after that. I was pretty much reading just, you know, and then we all know where things went with me in comics after that. So I was 8, it was the 90s. So I don't have a big touchstone with Wally. So I don't have much going for this outside of what I know from like the Flash TV show, and just have kind of gained through osmosis just over the last 10 years or so. So maybe, I don't know if you can offer me a whole lot, anything else more, or if you found out who the hell that thing was supposed to be.
It's the Trickster.
Is that what you're going? Is that what you're going with?
If you look at the helmet,
okay,
and the markings around the eyes,
okay,
it looks like the Trickster's mask from the comic, and James Jesse is the original Trickster.
Oh, James Jesse, that tracks. Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. I will,
but no, like the thing with Wally is what a lot of people forget, because he wears the same costume as the original Flash. Like, that's Wally being best buds with Kyle Rayner back in the JLA series.
Yes, that's true. That's true. You're absolutely right. I do forget that a lot. Yeah.
So I think that's what happens is, like, we forget that, like, Barry Allen technically died in the 80s. And then he doesn't come back until, I want to say, New 52. Like, before then.
Oh, yeah. Because
he's gone, because Wally's the one that trains Impulse, trains Jesse.
Because even during that terminal velocity period I was telling you about, Jay Garrick is still, I mean, he's still alive. He's just old as shit. Yeah. And even he at one point he's like one of the ones in the running to come back and be the Flash once the Speed Force takes Wally. So
So no, I've always thought that, as much as I didn't like his casting per se, I really felt like Ezra Miller should have been Wally West, given that we had a Barry Allen actively running on television.
Yeah, and he was just written like a Wally West.
Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense. But I do. Wally West is also the one that is best friends with Nightwing. So anytime you see Nightwing and the Flash hanging out and doing stuff, it's Wally West. Yeah. So that's how I've really gotten to know him. You know, Wally West quits being Kid Flash around the same time Dick Grayson stops being Robin. So they have a lot of stuff to deal with at that time in there. So he's a cool character. I like having around. I don't know what they were doing with him on Rebirth, but it was moderately interesting.
I honestly didn't read it. I couldn't tell you.
So, for lack of a better way to say this, the white version of Wally West disappears during New 52, and a black version of
because they were trying to line it up with who was playing him in the TV show.
Yeah, and then that's before the TV show, and then when do, yes, because New 52 is 12. New 52 is 2012.
Oh, you're right. No, I can't. I'm bad at guys.
The show mirrored the comic.
This is why Matt's here, because he's old and remembers dates.
The only reason I know that is because New 52 started right before my son was born, and he was born in 2012.
Because Matt is old and has children, and therefore has a reason to remember important dates.
So then when Rebirth happens, Rebirth happens, the weird thing they do is they bring back
Rebirth happened a year after, because I moved to Dayton in 2015.
Yeah.
And I started collecting comics again after I got a big boy job and had the money to afford comic books again. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna get caught up on this New 52 shit. And then Rebirth happened. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. Let me just undo the things. But no, in Rebirth, they reintroduce White Wally. I don't know if there's another way to say that, because what you realize is that because of the things that were happening in New 52, they basically made the Titans forget that Wally West existed, even though he was their friend. Because
they control seed to the New 52 is what they did. So everything went back to as it was ish.
Yeah.
More or less. Again, it's kind of like, I found this meme the other day. I think I sent it to you, where it was like Miles Morales was such a good character that Marvel Comics was like, okay, we're gonna nuke this entire universe except you, buddy. We're gonna keep you.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold on to you. You, man, I don't know. We nailed it with you. All right.
You know what it makes me think of? It was that one where it was like it's the panel from the end of Flashpoint when Flash gives Batman the letter, but they re-edit it and he looks at the letter and it's like Batman, we think you're good enough to be part of us. Grab Flash and come be part of our team. And then it's like, love, Kevin Feige.
There was a period where Batman was the only DC thing putting out any kind of money, and it was like, when is Marvel just gonna fucking buy Batman? Like, seriously?
It was so, because I think that the panel where he's crying, he's like, Barry, pack your bags.
Well, I'll tell you what, like to get back to Absolute Flash, like I really want to talk about talking about Barry too. Like, it is an interesting decision for them to let us know, like, before the book even comes out, Barry's not the Flash.
Yeah.
And yet they give us Barry. And that's several times in these Absolute books, in all of them, where they've told us something was not going to happen. And then we felt like we were having the wool pulled over our eyes, only to then realize we were wrong again. Case in point, like with Absolute Batman, when it was like, oh, so he just has like $2 billion now? Oh.
Yeah.
So he's just rich now. And then he just burns the money because he's like, I don't need this. And I was like,
well,
oh, gotcha. You got us.
Let me say this though.
Yeah.
Don't know that Barry wasn't the Flash. We just know he's not going to be the Flash going forward.
True.
He's wearing the suit. He was clearly doing something in that pod.
Yeah.
So he may have been the Flash, and then whatever Wally does kills him, and he becomes. I don't know. That's the only thing I noticed.
We are one issue in.
Yeah, we're at one issue.
We are grasping at straws.
Yeah,
but definitely, but like the decision to have us start out with a 14-year-old, 15-year-old Wally West as our Flash, who's a bass player, by the way, which you guys can't see, but I have 3 on the wall over there. So like, nice. It's such a, these books in general, like, have the first 3 have all been very dark, very heavy. This is the first one where it's like, and Flash has always kind of been like this. They're trying to give us one that's a little bit on, I don't want to say the lighter side, because this still is a little bit, I mean, Barry Allen dies.
Yeah.
We see the body, there's a corpse. But having, like, the importance of like an analog for kids, because there are still comic books at the end of the day. The reason Robin was introduced was to encourage more young people to read. So
yeah,
having having this is going to be hard, having Wally be a young man, going on basically a young man's journey, as well as a superhero origin story. It's a dynamic I'm interested to explore.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like, this is a time where, because you're rebooting these characters, they could be whatever you want them to be. We don't have to stick with a Flash that's the same age as Batman and Superman. This Flash is a younger kid, and I like that they're doing that, because I mean, we don't get exactly how old Superman is, but he's not in his 30s.
No.
And Batman on the fence. But I mean, I think that's the thing.
I think Batman, we've clocked at this point. I mean, like, to what you usually say, like, he's usually where Batman's at in year one, like mid-20s.
Mid to late 20s, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's I like that they're doing that, giving because what this makes me stoked for, even though I'm probably way ahead of myself when I say this, is like, what's this team? What is this team going to look like? Like, this Justice League team, we've got, the only thing that's missing is Cyborg / Aquaman, whichever version of the JLA you're doing.
A 7th member of some kind, or a Shazam.
Or
anybody else.
Who
the hell? I would. Oh my. Oh. I mean, but it could be anything. It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, them choosing Cyborg when they did the New 52 to be a new original member was, mostly because he was such a popular character from the Teen Titans cartoon show. But also it was like, hey, if we're starting over, let's do something different. So if we are going to and eventually get an absolute Justice League and a seventh member, who's to say who that seventh member could end up being? If somebody's like, hey, look, I have a wild idea for a seventh absolute character, and give it the James Gunn treatment, hey, whoever gets us the script first gets to go. So it could be an absolute Wildcat. It could be an absolute
Green Arrow,
Vixen. It could be an
Black
absolute
Canary,
Hawk Girl, or anything. I mean, Adam. I don't give a shit. Like again, they have given me no reason not to trust them with these so far. The absolute amount of originality in not just the writing, but in the formatting of the books themselves. We talked about this before we started recording. Like, these guys are taking inspiration not just from Marvel, where a lot of these writers have spent a lot of their careers, but inspiration from also from like Image Comics and Dark Horse and like the Invincible series, things I've seen in other comic book companies and universes. And it's them saying, let's not be afraid to play in each other's sandboxes. We use that metaphor a lot. And we talked about this with a couple episodes ago. Like, they're getting very cinematic with how they write and stylize these panels in comic books. It's almost like they're treating comic books like storyboards for eventual movies and series and things like that. And it really, like, this leapt off the page while I was reading it. It was truly incredible. I'm trying to remember who the name of the person who's doing the art on this. Nick Robles. Really, really incredible art on this. Really floored. And Jeff Lemire, I mean,
This one. The only thing I was to ask you before we end it.
Yeah.
Is that the Ultra Humanite?
I don't know. I stared at that for a very long time because all I could think was, I was just like, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean?
Or
it's Gorilla Grodd.
That's not nothing. Or it's Gorilla Grodd. That was a quick question. Was there a typo in yours? I feel like there was either a typo or a made up word. I don't know.
Which page?
On page, see, it's hard to tell because they don't really number the pages. Do they? No, they don't. But it's when he's talking to Barry, and it's on this page here. It's early on. Down at the bottom page on the right hand, he says, on the very razor's edge of what is physics? Is that supposed to be physics?
I think that's supposed to be physics.
Okay. Just making sure it's not just me.
I don't know. Let's see. Maybe.
Let's know down in the comments. Is there a typo in the book? Or Jeff Lemire? You wanna let us know?
Even Google's like, that's physics.
I know. I was like, either is this a made up comic book word that I'm just not familiar with? I don't know. You guys let us know down in the comments, and while you're on your way down there, please subscribe to the channel. We love it when you subscribe. It's on your way down to the comments anyways. You might as well click the subscribe button. Also, make sure you follow us on all social media at WATB Pod, and you can find me on social media at Mr. Mike Shea.
You can find me on everything at The Hustle Man.
We hope you've enjoyed our discussion on Absolute Flash. We loved it. We hope you loved it too. You guys can find us again next time here. Same bad time, same bad podcast channel.